I don't think I'm doing a very good job in explaining to you, in explicating, in expatiating the real truth, the real goings on regarding Zelensky and Trump and what it all means. I don't think I'm doing a very good job because my mind is on fire. All right? I sound like Alicia Keys. My mind is on fire. I am so absolutely overwhelmed with these thoughts. And I don't think I'm doing a very good job because I don't think people understand it. I don't think I'm going to try my best because you count on me and you need me, and you look to me to say, hey, explain this to me. And before I did this, I did a segment for my private channel, the private channel where you can say anything. And it was so mondo. I don't even think that they understand it because I went from, of all things, Liza Minnelli, because Mrs. Ellen and I went to the village tonight to afternoon. I saw this incredible documentary about Liza Minnelli, and it made me think about just how we don't know anything about her, and we don't know anything about what's going on with Zelensky. But I'm going to do my best. I swear to God, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best to make you kind of understand how this thing works. Because to be a good citizen, you have to know the truth. And what you do is you're not being told the truth. Maybe not necessarily because people are bad, but because they're lazy or they really don't understand. Most people, I'm sorry to tell you, and I don't want to break your heart, but especially when it comes to Fox News, I don't think they really understand. I really don't think they understand. I swear to God. I think people believe still, despite everything that I've said and everything that we've told you and all of the available evidence that is there, I think some people really believe that Putin is the bad guy and that he decided he had some kind of a weird devilish design on taking Ukraine out. And it's like, what? So we're going to do this again. And I don't think you understand who he is, because to really understand who this jerk off was who sat next to our president, to really understand the intricacies of this, and I mean the intricacies, the ABCDarian, elemental, kind of the lattice work, you really have to know what's going on. And you have to grasp it. And I'm the guy to tell you because I love this stuff. And I promise you, after tonight, my friend, you are going to know more stuff about this than you ever even thought you were capable of knowing. You're going to know more Zelensky, and you're going to say, Jesus Christ, how did this ever happen? You're going to say, that's exactly what I'm thinking. That's exactly. So, my friends, please, I ask you to make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are subscribed to us here, right here, ladies and germs, on the Lionel Nation channel, which is what you're doing right now. But before we begin, let me explain something to you, my friends. As great and as wonderful as this economy is, and as great and as wonderful as Doge is and everybody else, you have got to understand something, that there is something very, 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 very serious about many people who are really in serious financial straits, and this information is for them. Listen to me. Are you drowning in debt? You're not alone. New reports show the average person is buried under $8,674 in credit card debt, with total consumer debt soaring to a staggering $104,215, including mortgages, auto loans, student loans, and credit cards. It's a financial crisis, and without a real solution, many will keep spiraling deeper. That's why I want to introduce you to a powerful secret weapon that has helped so many regain control. They specialize in consolidating all your debts into one manageable monthly payment, and even negotiate a settlement so that you can pay less than you actually owe. Think about this. They've already settled over $275 million in debt. Think about that. Helping people break free in an average of just 28 months. I've personally recommended their services to friends and clients who needed a way out, and now I'm bringing it straight to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. So don't wait. Book a free consultation today, right now, at nodebtwithlionel.com. That's nodebtwithlionel.com. The link is right under the title here. It's time to take back control of your finances. Act now. Get out of debt and start living the life you deserve. That's right, my friends. And let's get to the facts of this, because this is such a great story. Let me first say a hearty hello and a hi silver to Betty Spitzak. Becky, I called you Betty. Becky, thank you. Becky joins us. Freedom says, straight up classless, desperate, childish attitude to President Trump and wearing gym clothes like he just worked out. I'm glad Trump ran him off. Freaking disgrace as a leader. Yes. And of course, JTE says, you need a big chart and a big marker. Thank you so much for that. And would you like to hear something? Do you know who this guy is? I think it's important because he's not going to go away right away. He's going to be around for a little bit more, my friends. Just a little bit more. He's going to be around. He will be. But listen to this very, very carefully. This is a fantastic story. And you've got to follow some of these names. These names are a little different, but I think you can understand. You can grasp this. Who is the clown commander? Where did he come from? How did Zelensky go from slapstick comedy to globalist puppet? That's the question, my friends. That's the question. My dear patriots, let's take a moment to appreciate the most ridiculous rise to power in modern history. I mean, we've seen some pretty Lindsey Graham. We've seen James Trafficant. We've seen some pretty crazy people. Adam Schiff. But this guy, I mean, leading a war. I mean, a war commander, a man who went from playing a piano with his privates, oh yeah, to demanding billions from U.S. taxpayers while posing as the second coming of Churchill. Do you understand that? I think you do. This is unbelievable. We're talking about Volodymyr Zelensky, the former TV clown turned Ukraine's so-called hero president. He was a clown. But before the world started fawning over this little green t-shirt dude and his Hollywood speeches, Zelensky was nothing more than, and being kind, a court jester, I guess, for Ukrainian oligarch Ihor, I-H-O-R, or Igor, I don't know how you pronounce it, Kolomoisky. Kolomoisky is a billionaire so shady, he reportedly had a shark tank in his office to intimidate people. This sounds like Roy DeMeo. I think, was it Roy DeMeo? Who was it who had a lion? In any event, because when you're a corrupt oligarch, why settle for a boring desk setup? Have a shark. So Kolomoisky isn't just a businessman. Oh, no. He's like a Bond villain without the charisma, without the cat. He's a banking and media mogul who co-founded Private Bank. That's one word. Before it was nationalized in 2016 for a casual $5.5 billion hole in its books. This is Kolomoisky. And wouldn't you know it, he also owned the TV network that made Zelensky a household name. This is 1+1 Media Group, okay? Now, let's work through this. Before he was the brave wartime leader, out of nowhere, this guy that the media shoves down your throats, that nobody has questioned at all, he was a glorified circus act. His comedy troupe was called, and I'm not pronouncing it, Kvartal 95, Kvartal. It was known for raunchy, over-the-top skits, but his biggest hit, the TV show called Servant of the People. This is where it started, where he played a bumbling teacher who, wait for it, accidentally becomes president of Ukraine. Servant of the people. This is where it started. It would be like Martin Sheen becoming president because was on whatever, West Wing. So, and this is all because Kolomoisky wasn't just airing this nonsense. He was allegedly bankrolling Zelensky's actual presidential campaign. And boom, just like that, in 2019, the jadrul, the court jester, the clown, became king, winning 73% of the vote, with Kolomoisky pulling the strings from behind the curtain. That's who he is. He was a comedian or a joker and a jerk-off and a jackwagon on a TV show. Now, critics at the time immediately labeled him a puppet, and for good reason. Throughout the campaign, Zelensky reportedly flew back and forth to Geneva and Tel Aviv over a dozen times, coincidentally, the exact places where Kolomoisky was hiding out in exile. Did you hear me? In exile. So the moment Zelensky won, Kolomoisky strutted right back into Ukraine, expecting to cash in on his investment. Right? Does that make sense to you? Screw this exile. I'm coming back because my little bitch is now the president or whatever it is. Okay. And at first, it seemed like he would do this. Zelensky even installed Kolomoisky's lawyer as his chief of staff, basically turning the Ukrainian government into a plaything for his billionaire backer, or so it seemed. Then came the plot twist. Zelensky turned out to be nothing that he explained. He turned on his sugar daddy. By 2021, the so-called president, Zelensky, decided to crack down on Kolomoisky's empire, pushing anti-oligarch laws and even leading, get this, a fraud investigation against the man who put him in power. You see where this is going? And Kolomoisky is saying, what the are you doing? So Kolomoisky was arrested in 2023 for money laundering, and the bromance, apparently, I hate that word, but anyway, apparently officially crashed and burned and it was over. So some say it was Zelensky breaking free. Others say it was just another political stunt. Either way, Kolomoisky allegedly called Zelensky, quote, an ungrateful beast behind closed doors, which is kind of hilarious if you think about it, because let's be honest, he was probably right. And of course, no discussion of Zelensky the clown or the clown president would be complete, ladies and gentlemen, without the infamous piano performance. Yes, my friends, yes, it's true. Before he was standing in front of Congress, demanding your tax dollars, before he was sitting in the Oval Office, giving our great president and our great vice president shite, before that, before he was this Vogue colored, this guy with a t-shirt, this tough-talking guy that look like this bullshit artist. Before all that, he was on stage, dropping trowel, dropping his pants, and playing a piano with his junk. So, well, that's what was the act. This was the act. During this show, Cavartal 95, what I'm mispronouncing it. During this show in 2016, Zelensky and a co-star stood with their hands raised while wiggling their hips to play a piano tune while a real pianist, that's pianist, handled the keys off stage. So the audience roared. Ukraine's future leader, future president, the man who was sitting next to us, to our president, the man who was this, that Lindsey Graham loved and then hated and then loved again. This rat bastard was standing there with his pants purportedly down, shaking his business to the beat of Hava Nagila. This was a real thing. And you can't make this up now. Imagine if President Trump had done something even remotely similar to that. He'd have been impeached for a third time. But Zelensky, oh, no. That's different. He's a hero. He's a hero, according to the media. Yes. And fast forward to today, and this guy in Washington demanding billions, more billions from you, from the U.S., while telling us that Ukraine's fight is, quote, the fight for democracy. Excuse me, democracy? You mean the same democracy where he banned opposition parties? Are you listening to me? The same democracy that shut down news stations, that didn't praise him and kiss his ass, and arrested political rivals, and killed Gonzalo Lira, assassinated Gonzalo Lira, an American citizen, that guy? Hello? While American cities are falling apart, while the border is a disaster, still, I don't care how great it is, while Biden's economic policies burn holes through our wallets, while USAID and everything else was being promoted, while all this was going on, Zelensky keeps extending his hands for more American cash, your cash. And guess what? Trump isn't having any of it. With Trump back in the political spotlight, Zelensky's grift is running out of time. It's over. And the former and future president has already made it clear that they're not writing blank checks for a war that isn't America's fight. He's questioning where all the billions have gone, calling out the corruption, and reminding everyone that Ukraine's problems are not the United States' responsibility. And if you think Zelensky is nervous now, just wait until Trump backs down into the White House. Just wait, rather, when everything gets to be better, when he really digs in his heels. No more free money. It's over. It's done. No more begging in front of Congress. No more Hollywood photo ops. No more green t-shirts. The grift is over. Zelensky is done. He ain't a hero. President Trump is a hero. J.D. Vance is the hero. Calls him J.D. He's a TV clown, Zelensky, who lucked into power thanks to an oligarch with a shady past. And his wartime leadership is the carefully crafted PR bullshit campaign. And his biggest, I guess, skill, if you want to call it, isn't diplomacy. It's selling himself to gullible, stupid, unsophisticated Western politicians and radical left media dolts. But the game's up. The gig's up. It's over. With President Trump in the office, with J.D. Vance, Ukraine's greatest actor and imposter might finally be forced, finally to exit the stage. You hear what's going on here? Am I making myself clear? A.D. Walker, ladies and gentlemen, has become a YouTube member. Thank you, A.D. And Ricardo says, you can't appreciate great art and statesmanship. Don't know what that means, but yes, perhaps you are correct. I'm not sure. This is the most incredible story there is. And nobody is this, and this, and let me explain something to you. We have been talking about Kolomoisky, and if you listen to Gonzalo Lira, we've been talking about him forever. He's a joke. He's a joke. And the only way for us to ever get away from this, the only way for us to ever break free from this nonsense is for everybody to understand specifically what it is that we're doing. Who is this guy? And that means for us to go through it. Now, let me also explain something which is critical. Are you with me? Are you with me? I hope you're with me. What a day. What a day. Mrs. L and I, by the way, a little timeout, we went to the IFC theater today. We saw a documentary on Liza Minnelli. This is a classic art house kind of a theater. It was beautiful. And it was one of the most incredible. Liza Minnelli cannot be duplicated today. There is no one. And as we were leaving, somebody was saying, I wonder who could be Liza Minnelli. What was she went through? And your mother was Judy Garland. And it was New York during the time of Halston. And it was just a beautiful. Anyway, somebody said Lady Gaga. And I realized I'm so doomed. Now, you don't have to like Liza Minnelli. She was kind of strange. But as far as entertainment, who can sing, dance, act. Remember Arthur, she was incredible. Absolutely incredible. There's nobody who can do this today. It was a different world then. And I thought to myself, how do I explain things? How did the point of this documentary was to try to make people understand, the level of her greatness and what she did. But how do I explain this? How do we explain when you have that idiot, that pissant, that jadrool, Piers Morgan, when you have him, and people consider him to be smart, or well, of course, there's a British accent. You know what, because he's got the British accent, and people just think, well, he's obviously smart. Why? Because, well, he's got a British accent. Yeah, okay. He's got a British accent, and anybody with a British accent is somehow possessed of something or other, which is complete and total nonsense. But let's go through a couple of things here. This is the most important thing. I want to take you through this. I want you to take notes. And I want you to understand how this thing works, kind of in a nutshell. Because if you don't understand this, and if you think that Russia's the bad guy and this guy's a hero, then we're doomed. For decades, my friend, NATO, the good guys, right? Aren't they? NATO's our friend, aren't they? Aren't they the good guys, NATO? Well, for decades, NATO has inched closer and closer to Russia's doorstep, despite countless warnings, from Russia and Putin and others, that such expansion would lead to war. They were given warnings. The West, right? The West, NATO and the NATO states and this, rather than treating Russia as a post-Cold War partner, no. They chose to encircle it with military alliances, missile systems, NATO, ignoring Moscow's repeated red lines. It said this. I'm going to say it again. You are not going to put a NATO country, a NATO missile system on our border. So when the Soviet Union collapsed in 91, U.S. officials assured Russian leaders that NATO would not expand, quote, here's a quote, 1 inch eastward. That's it. Don't worry about it. That promise was shattered, as former Soviet bloc countries were now swiftly absorbed into NATO. Poland, the Baltic states, Romania, each addition further eroded, further scared, further destroyed whatever trust remained between Russia and the West. They kept saying, oh, don't worry. They said, what are you doing? NATO kept gobbling up all these countries, just surrounding Russia. And they said, now listen, over and over. It was goading. It was sticking a thumb in your eye. Come on, you don't mean it. But the final straw was Ukraine. That was it. And that was mission accomplished. They prodded, poked, goaded. They pushed Russia into this. In 2014, this is where it starts. The U.S. backed a coup in Kyiv. Remember, it was Kiev, and now it's Kyiv. That removed the democratically elected Russia-friendly President Viktor Yanukovych. This was a guy, he was elected. He wanted to work out some type of a deal with Russia. The result, a Western-backed regime took power, pushing for NATO membership. They had a coup. Get rid of him. We put our pressure. You can hear Victoria Nuland on her now famous phone call. Don't take my word for it. A Western-backed regime took power. NATO regime took power, pushing for NATO membership of Ukraine, adopting this increasingly hostile stance toward Moscow. And Putin says, I'm not going to be... Putin doesn't lie. He doesn't say things he doesn't follow through. He follows through. As far as he's concerned and Russia's concerned, this was an existential threat. That's not a word I use lightly. An existential threat. Somewhat akin to and similar to the U.S. refusing to tolerate Soviet missiles in Cuba in 1962. Now, that was a little complicated because there was the Turkey. But the point is, we said, you go. You're not going to put nuclear missiles there. But President Putin's supposed to say, well, you know, I should just let them be. Let bygones be by. Nothing to worry about. They've lied. I'm sure they won't mean any harm. And the crisis escalated when Ukraine launched military operations against, here we go. Now, this is where it gets tough. Russian-speaking groups and populations in the Donbass. And Putin's thinking, I can't believe these people. This led to an 8-year conflict that killed thousands. And the West could have diffused the situation through diplomacy, but no. Instead, it doubled down. Military aid flooded Ukraine. NATO ramped up operations in the region, and diplomatic efforts like the Minsk agreements meant to provide autonomy to Donbass were ignored. By 2021, Ukraine's bid or move to join NATO became an active discussion point, where the Western folks like NATO rejecting Russia's security demands outright. Shut up, we're going to do what we want. You can't tell us what to do. If we want Ukraine to be in NATO, it's none of your goddamn business. Really? And at this stage, Russia had made its position clear. And this is what happened. NATO in Ukraine was a no-go. None. Ain't going to happen. Yet instead of addressing Russia's concerns, reasonable fears, and warnings, Washington and its allies and Blinken and all those folks provoked it further. By February 2022, after years of failed diplomacy, military provocations, and growing NATO entrenchment or NATO expansion in Ukraine, Russia saw no clear choice but to act, as it said it would repeatedly. It said, this is what we're going to do. It was a war that didn't need to happen, but one that was engineered and goaded and provoked through reckless Western intervention. The U.S., the Biden U.S., these guys, and NATO, rather than treating Ukraine as a neutral buffer state, kind of like Austria, it saw it as a pawn in a larger kind of a geopolitical game. It saw it as a bigger one. And Washington's neocon group, oh, they love it. They've long seen Russia as a threat. And this is what the threat, not to us, but a threat to our global dominance. See, there's a difference. Threatening us or threatening our global dominance, that's what they're talking about. And Ukraine was the perfect chess piece, to weaken Moscow. Instead of urging negotiations, instead of doing this, instead of, encouraging this, Western, leaders flooded Ukraine with weapons and encouraged Kyiv to take a hard-line stance. Come on, you can do it. Making any diplomatic resolution impossible. And when you got this clown there who plays the organ with his schwanz, with his organ, who sits there and says, I'll do whatever you want. Just give me the billions. He's a billionaire. They gave him billions. From where? Where did this money come from? We paid it. Where did this come from? Enter Doge. Even when peace was within reach, such as the reported near deal, remember, between Moscow and Kyiv in March of 2022, the U.S. and UK stepped in. Remember, Bojo stepped in, goes, oh, no, you're not going to do that. Western military industrial complex, war profiteers, they said, oh, no, they had no interest in ending the war. It needed conflict to justify endless arms shipments and money and military budgets. That's what it wanted. And meanwhile, Ukraine was convinced of its Western backing, I guess, pressed forward, saying, You got my back, right? Oh, you go ahead. Don't worry there, Zell. We got you, buddy. Go ahead. You sure now, right? Oh, yeah. Because I don't know if we can do this by ourselves. No, you do it. They pressed forward under the illusion that somehow NATO would be there. NATO would eventually intervene. Well, it never did. It never did. And the reality is that Ukraine right now was used as this battering ram, for lack of better words, like a battering ram, I guess, against Putin or Russia. It's hard to say exactly what their plans were. They pushed Ukraine into a war it could never win, and they didn't even help them. And their idea is they give them more money, and their conscription, they're grabbing innocent people and throwing them in the battle. It's the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. The mainstream radical left media, they love this. And they love to paint Ukraine as the righteous underdog and Zelensky as the hero. But the truth is far worse and far more cynical. It was set up to fail from the start. As billions of your money flowed into Kyiv and was sent, Ukraine's cities are now left in ruins. Its economy is shattered. Its population is suffering like you can't believe. The consequences of a war that could have been avoided, which President Putin and Zelensky theoretically, remember, they were going to meet, they were going to end this, they were going to work something out. But Bojo and Boris said no. Boris Johnson said no. So even as Ukraine's position on the battlefield deteriorates to nothing, the backers of this, the Western backers, continue this charade, this joke, sending just enough aid to prolong the fight just a little bit, but never to secure victory or whatever it is. And the end result, what is that? Ukraine will be left in ruins. And the U.S., just like it did in Afghanistan, are just going to move on to the next project. And the Western narrative that Russia's invasion was an unprovoked act of aggression to re-solidify the Soviet Union doesn't hold up to scrutiny anymore. Doesn't make any sense. This war was a result of decades of NATO expansion. You got to understand this. We, NATO, caused this, wanted this war. Putin said, if you do this, I will do this. And we said, we're taking you at your word. Western-backed regime change. And what do we always say about regime change? Who is going to fill the void? And as a refusal to acknowledge Russia's security concerns, look where we are now. My friends, history. Don't forget what Tolstoy said. History will be a wonderful thing if only it were true. History will not remember this as a war of liberation or as a war for democracy, but as a preventable disaster that was pushed to the breaking point by Biden, by Blinken, by NATO, by the West. If this country, if our beloved country, I don't think it's going to happen, but if it actually continues to treat countries as disposable chess pieces a la Victoria Nuland and its power games, this is not going to be the last conflict of its kind. I promise you. This is just the beginning. This is as serious as it gets, and President Trump knows this. Mad P says the only bleeding heart people complaining about this are the same ones who let their children curse them out in the supermarket. I love Trump's king of the playground approach. Indeed. Pilgrim Media says, I agree with you, Mr. E. Am I a Putin apologist? LOL. I guess. I guess you would be. Mel says, so the Ukraine push forward was similar to the Bay of Pigs. You might be able to make that. The Bay of Pigs that was this attempt to back like Alpha 66 and those, well, that was later on, to back the rebels against the rebels. It's a tough analogy to work, but there are some serious similarities. My friend, think very carefully of what we're talking about. Think very carefully. Let me also have you think of one particular person. There's a wonderful guy, a wonderful person, a wonderful man by the name of Mike Lindell. And he has this company called mypillow.com. You ever hear of it? You know, when it comes to comfort, support, and a good night's sleep, my friends, MyPillow has revolutionized the way millions of Americans rest their heads with unmatched quality, cutting-edge design, and a commitment to American-made excellence. MyPillow has become a household name. And now with mypillow.com/Lionel or using the promo code Lionel, you can unlock exclusive discounts and deals that bring comfort and savings right to your doorstep. That's right, my friend. Mike Lindell and the team in MyPillow aren't just selling pillows. They're on a mission to transform the sleep experience with a wide variety of products beyond their signature pillows. Whether you're looking for supportive adjustable pillows, luxurious Giza dream sheets, cozy towel, mattress toppers that cradle your body in comfort, MyPillow offers it all. And with their 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty, you can be confident that MyPillow stands behind every product they sell. Now, why MyPillow stands out? Let me tell you, unlike generic pillows you grab off a department store shelf, MyPillow is customizable and engineered to cater to different sleep styles. Whether you're a side sleeper or a back sleeper or a stomach sleeper, their patented interlocking fill technology adjusts to your specific comfort needs, keeping your neck and spine properly aligned throughout the night. No more waking up with that sore neck, no more tossing and turning, just the restful, rejuvenating, and exhilarating sleep that you deserve. And it doesn't stop at pillows. MyPillow's Giza Dream Sheets, made from the finest Egyptian cotton, offer a smooth, breathable, and luxurious feel, turning your bed into a sleep heaven. So right now, my friends, do the right thing. Go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's easy for me to say, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. Simply the best. Trust me. Ladies and gentlemen, a good friend, Warren Ocasio, says, my concerns about despicable Lindsey Graham are not being allowed. I do not know why. He is a cur. He is an impuissant titmouse. And I agree with you 100%, my friends. My friend, you have just explicated such. Rafael de Gonde says, as a result of this, France and England will lose all of their colonies. The king receiving this man tomorrow is a mega mistake. NATO is done. If only we are so lucky, my friend. If only we are so lucky. Now, let me remind you of something. Let's bring things back into perspective, shall we? This is the greatest show on earth. This showdown nobody saw coming. It will be, and still is. They're talking about this. They've never seen anything like it. It will be etched into the annals, not the annals, the annals of American historic legend. Zelensky, this self-proclaimed king of the sob story, strutted into the Oval Office, expecting the usual red carpet treatment that Biden gave him. Figured I don't have to worry about that. He probably did a few lines. You should have heard Colonel McGregor, great man, saying that he most probably uttered a he was rather straightforward in his belief that Mr. Zelensky might be imbibing in the powder, as it were. But he thought he could just walk into the Oval Office, pulled his hand out, and got a taxpayer-funded blank check. Maybe a complimentary fruit basket. Who knows? I mean, this son of a bitch thinks, and why shouldn't he think this? Because they were created. I told you, Kolomoisky and this dingbat wastrel, this mental and neurological vacuum. Mr. Biden didn't know anything about this. Instead, you've got this idiot who crashes headfirst into a towering, unyielding wall of MAGA might, manned by none other none other, my friend, than the greatest president in my lifetime, Donald J. Trump, and his ice-cold enforcer, the Luca Brasi of the Oval Office, Vice President J.D. Vance. What followed, my friends, was a beatdown so savage, so soul-crushingly humiliating, that whispers from the inner sanctum swear, Zelensky stumbled out sobbing like a scolded toddler, like a little biatch, crying and whimpering and humiliated. His dreams of endless American cash and endless Ukrainian war reduced to a smoldering ash. How much do you want to bet he never gets the billions he thinks he's going to get? How much do you think that Doge and MAGA and American First not only freeze all the assets, but claw it back, say, give it back? Oh, think it's impossible? Picture the scene. There he was, Zelensky, decked out in his signature army green cosplay, looking more like a discount, I guess, action figure or some kind of central casting, I don't know what, than a third world leader, shuffling into the hallowed halls of the tabernacle of our liberty with that smug grin that he's perfected after years of panhandling Uncle Sam for hundreds of billions of dollars. Oh, he thought it'd be a cakewalk. He thought he'd waltz in, bat those sad little eyes, and walk out with another mountain of cash to prop up his crumbling, disgusting, baseless regime with your cash and your money. All the while, and I'm saying this again, will American cities rot under the weight of neglect, infrastructure collapsing, inflation raging like a wildfire. He just thought, I'm going to come in. I don't give a damn what you say. And for the longest time, you've been beaten into submission and told by this idiot, by this fool, by this jadrul, by this absolute idiot, this Joe Biden. You've been told for the longest time to just shut up. Shut up and take it. Shut up and just take it. You don't have any say. And if you complain, you're a Putin apologist. You're some Russophile. I don't even know what. And for the longest time, we just kind of gave in. We did. We just kind of gave in because we didn't know any better. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know any better. Honest to God. It's like the abused spouse. We were just hit and beaten and crushed. We have been just worked into oblivion by so much over the years. It's incredible, from COVID to you name it. It's the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. Think about this. It's incredible. And we just kind of got used to it. Well, let me tell you something. It's over. And don't you think for 1 minute that he knows it. Zell knows it. He knows it's over. This is the most beautiful thing in the world. He knows it's over. He absolutely, there is nothing he can do. Absolutely. Let me just say this again, my friends. There is nothing he can do. And his wife's thinking, what does this mean? She's been making out like a bandit. Even that stupid wig, Anna Wintour from Vogue, making them out to be this sexy couple. I swear to God, I see him and I retch. I can't believe what I'm seeing. It is so over with right now, my friend. When he met with Keir Starmer, what do you think he said? Have you been following the world? Everybody's watching this. Everybody thought, damn. I thought this Trump was tough, but I had no idea. I thought he was good, but I didn't think it was like this. He was bitch slapped. Absolutely, positively bitch slapped. Our good friend Oliver Calamari says, remember military hero? Oh, yes, the ghost of Kiev. All bullshit. Absolutely. Johnny Mazda Spaz says, Z is off to England collecting billions. Yep. Well, we'll see. They know about this. The good people of the UK know about this. Crypto Domini CD says, if they don't claw back, at least Trump stands on ending in this regard, at least. I think you're correct. I think Trump has enjoyed, let me explain to you. Trump has enjoyed this absolute love, this respect. People love respect. He's going to do nothing to impede upon that. My friends, this is the most incredible thing. And I'm going to say it again. As American cities rot under the weight of bad roads and potholes and bridges and dams and infrastructure, we're giving billions to this schmuck. While inflation rages like a wildfire, we're giving money, endless cash to this son of a bitch from where? And the southern border, that's not under control yet. I mean, it's improved. With gapes and holes and passageways wider than the Grand Canyon. Oh, Zelensky, you poor deluded fool. You just poked the lion. And this lion roars. Donald Trump, who right now is perched and ready, standing behind the Resolute desk, by the way, which they fixed and got rid of the planted bugs and the like, allegedly. But he stands behind the Resolute desk like a golden-maned emperor, like Alexander the Great, Donald the Great. Didn't even let the Ukrainian beggar get comfortable. From the second Zelensky's boots hit the carpet, the former president's patient was thinner than a razor's edge. He said, that's it, the gig's up. And this tooted out fool didn't get the message. Leaning forward, his iconic scowl, the glare, that iconic look of disgust, dialed up to 11. Oh. President Trump unleashed a verbal barrage that could have leveled a city. Oh, you again? Back to shake us down for more billions? What's the matter, Zell? Didn't pack a thank you card in that little costume of yours, huh? The air crackled with tension. And did you see J.D. Vance, how great he was? You didn't even say thank you. Oh, you said thank you before. Shut up. Shut up, you mindless twit. And Zell, caught off guard by this Category 5 hurricane of truth, ladies and gentlemen, opened his mouth to stammer out some pathetic plea. Mr. President, we need continued support to shut up. Not today, Sparky. No way. Not today. Trump sliced through this nonsense, his whining like a hot blade, a saber, an epee through butter. No. You don't need anything. The American people are done. D-O-N-E, Vlad. Done. Finished. Kaput. The gravy train has just screeched to a halt and then is derailed at the last station. And you're off. You're off the ride, my friend. So pack your bags. Your little scam's over. The room went dead silent. Staffers froze in mid-breath. Secret Service agents gripped their earpieces and said, what's going on here? Sensing history unfolding, this could get nasty. This guy's wigged out of his mind. Zell, I don't know how many G's he put up the nostril there, but it was incredible. The atmosphere wasn't just electric, it was like a lightning storm. And Zelensky was about to get fried. Oh, my. But the punishment didn't stop there. Oh, no, 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 patriots. That was just the warm-up. I've been watching this again. Enter J.D. Vance, Trump's unrelenting right-hand man. His Luca Brasi. His Al Neri. His Barry, by an example. His Cesare More. This is a VP built like a steel trap, with the demeanor of a courtroom executioner who's already signed your death warrant. Oh, J.D., towering over the trembling Ukrainian, shook his head with a sigh so heavy it could have sunk a battleship. Quote, you know what amazes me, Zell? He drawled, his voice dripping with venomous disdain. You know what gets me? How do you have the gall? How do you have the balls to beg for our money, our hard-earned American dollars, while you ban elections back home? You strut around the globe yapping about democracy, but you've shuttered opposition parties, muzzled, imprisoned journalists, killed and tortured an American citizen, Gonzalo Lira, and tossed your own people into jail faster than you can say dictator. How does that work, Zell? How does that work, huh? Explain it to me like I'm 5. And Zelensky, his usual puppy dog pout, that look, replaced with a sheer, or with a mask, a mien, a veneer, an affect, a kind of a weird rictus, a mask of sheer terror. Sweating bullets. Did you get this? Did you see that? Sweating bullets, flop sweats, big, fat, cowardly droplets rolling down his forehead. Vance wasn't done yet. You're lucky we even let you in the door, you freeloading fraud. It was beautiful. The Ukrainian leader, who'd probably never faced a dressing down ever, and certainly not this brutal in his cushy European-funded life. He looked like a deer staring down a freight train, just frozen, transfixed, paralyzed. And that train was about to hit, and it did hit. Then came the moment. My friends. The glorious, earth-shattering, freedom-loving moment, so beautiful, so beauteous, so perfect. Every red-blooded, tax-paying, rock-ribbed American had been dreaming of since Zelensky first stuck his grubby little paws in our pockets. J.D. Vance, with the precision and the fury of a MAGA juggernaut, reared back and delivered a slap so resounding, so cataclysmic, it echoed through the White House like a cannon blast. Smack. The sound ricocheted off the walls, rattling the chandeliers. You could hear it, you could feel it. It was incredible. And dare we say it made the founding fathers jolt upright in their graves, pumping their fists in approbation and respect and ghostly approval. Oh, Zelensky staggering back, eyes bulging, jaw dangling like a broken hinge, his pampered European, this is figurative, of course, his European subsidized face now branded with that crimson imprint of American justice. That's for the taxpayers, you leech. But J.D. Vance standing there bellowing, beautifully, shaking his hand as if he just swatted a pesky fly. Now get the hell out. Get out. The room exploded. Trump rose to his feet, clapping slowly with that sly, victorious grin. Secret Service agents swapping knowing smirks. White House staffers bit their lips to stifle laughter so loud it threatened to crack the windows. One insider swears Melania, poised in the corner like a regal queen, had to press a manicured hand to her mouth to hide a chuckle, a chortle, a cachinnation, a guffaw, a laugh that could have melted the coldest heart. You understand what's happening here? Oh my God, it was perfection. While Zelensky stood there, a shell-shocked husk of a little twit, a little bezoar, a little dingleberry, a nothing, an insignificant ort, a hominid. The White House didn't miss a beat. Because let's be real, his little tantrum wasn't worth the interruption. The true patriots, the Trump loyalists, the America First titans, like you, who'd reclaimed this nation from the globalist abyss. Oh, yes, yes. They were already knee-deep in celebration, fit for kings. Picture it. A banquet hall, groaning, teetering under the weight of all American decadence. Carnivores delighting, steaks thick as encyclopedias. Juicy, my friends. You love that. Juicy as a summer peach, dripping with golden butter. You love that, don't you? I know you do. Shimmering like liquid sunlight. Fried chicken breaded to crispy perfection. Each bite a symphony of an American flavor. Mountains of mashed potatoes, everything fluffy. And he's walking out seeing this. Goodbye. Go, leave. Oh, it was beauteous, my friend. It was beauteous. It was something that you can only dream about. And I'm going to relive this moment over and over and over again. I am, and you can't stop me. You can't stop me. Oh, dear friends. Oh, my friends. Let me see here. Raphael says, if Toby Keith were alive, I cannot wait for the song he was going to write for President DJT after the incident. JT Vance was so strong. He was. JD, rather. Love Vanessa says, can we sell Vlad's Miami mansion? Let's start now. What's keeping you? I'm putting you in charge, Vanessa. Our good friend Fishman said, I love Trump telling him, don't tell us how to feel. Fuzzy Balls, ladies and gentlemen, says, the demise of the continent across the Atlantic greatly benefits America geopolitically, and alliance with the greatest nation makes us much safer. Ricardo says, I'm jealous. Zell has billions more than me. For now. And LDM became, or DLDM, a YouTube member. Isn't this wonderful, my friends? Don't you feel it? Don't you? I mean, seriously. Do you not feel wonderful? Do you not feel this? How do we say this? President Trump, savoring the chaos like a maestro would, conducting a symphony. He decided it was time for the grand finale. And the president said, I've had enough. He growled, snapping his fingers with the authority of a Roman emperor, banishing a traitor. Get him out. That was it. The kill shot. The coup de grace. Vance, ever the loyal enforcer, didn't hesitate. He seized Zelensky by the collar, those army green rags crumpled in his iron grip, and hauled him out of the Oval Office like a bouncer tossing a drunk from a bar, figuratively. Zelensky stumbled, flailing, his face flushed. Nobody there to help him, no security detail. Even they've abandoned him, disgusted by his ineptitude. His face flushed with rubescence and rubefaction, red, scared, petrified, doesn't know what to do. Redder than a commie flag, his dignity shredded beyond repair. The door slammed shut with a thunderous bang, and the room erupted in laughter and howls and yips and celebratory clapping, so raucous, so incredibly sonorous, the sonority could have woken George Washington from his eternal slumber. Trump grinning ear to ear, ladies and gentlemen. Ear to ear. Turned to his team. His voice booming with unshakable, unmistakable confidence. Gentlemen, this is what winning looks like. Cheers rained down like thunderstorms of glory. The sound of a nation reborn. The fallout? The fallout, my friend, you can go on YouTube and see it yourself. Instantaneous and delicious. Left-wing propaganda mills fired up their outrage machines, following the orders within minutes, spewing bile across the airwaves. CNN wailing that it was, quote, the darkest day in diplomacy. Their anchors clutching pearls like Victorian spinsters. MSDNC screeching Trump's fascist White House. Loud enough to wake the dead. And the New York Times, oh my God. The portrait of irrelevance, sobbing crocodile tears over, quote, abandoning democracy. Their ink bleeding, ladies and gentlemen, bleeding with sanctimonious drivel. But the American people, they didn't just love it. Oh, no. No. They lived for it. They lived for it. Social media ignited. Did you see this today? It's still going on. Social media ignited like a wildfire on rocket fuel. Bitch slap for freedom rocketed to the top of X's trends. Memes flooding the internet faster than you could say MAGA. And Zelensky slinked back to Ukraine, tail between his legs, his scam officially kaput. His hands as empty as his promises. And Donald Trump, meanwhile, raised a figurative glass of wine he doesn't drink. His golden locks, his hair, emperor's mane, flowing, toasting the return of America first, a beacon of victory shining across the land. So let's be clear, my friends. Let's be clear. This wasn't just a meeting gone wrong. This wasn't just, no. This was a little different, my friends. This was a little different. Lori Cuck, by the way, says, I'm literally giddy, bruh. She's literally. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Oh, I am too, dear heart. I am too. I am beyond giddy. I am. But you see, Lori recognizes. See, this wasn't a moment of humiliation, or just some little moment, some little hiccup, some little peccadillo. No. This was humiliation of proportions epic in nature. This was seismic, world shattering, a declaration. My friends, America's done playing ATM to every whining little pissant globalist with a sob story. The MAGA revolution isn't coming. It's here. Roaring. And let me just throw Doge and USAID. It's not even done yet. And they're not done with Epstein yet. No. It's we'll just wait. It's here, my friends. Roaring. Like just this. I hear the train a-coming. It's rolling around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in MAGA prison, at least Zealous. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, at the controls of this runaway train, steamrolling anything in its path. And Zelensky thought he could stop it. He's roadkill now, my friends, road pizza. A cautionary tale, my friend, for every other foreign moocher eyeing our wallets. The globalist era is done, buried under the weight of American resolve. And if any other stooge thinks they can resurrect it, if they think they can somehow, they better lace up their running boots, my friend, and sprint for the hills, because the circus has left the town, and it took Zelensky's dignity with it. Oh, my friend, I am elated. I am windswept. Long live the red, white, and blue. Long live this country. Long live. And there you go, my friends. My review of what is happening. My simple review. That's all. That's it. Lori Cuck says, that bitch actually touched my president. Grrr. She's roaring. And when Cuck roars, you better run, my friend. Head for the hills. Warren Ocasio says, thank you for fueling my favorite hobby, etymology. Indeed. And that's not insects. It's a joke. Crypto Domini says, make bitch slaps free again. Edie Crowley says, Vlad the Impaler. Get it? I like that. Crypto says, I delivered steel prison cells to a county jail a week ago. Imagine how many of them could line up the border for the billions in abuse. Hear, hear, my dear friend. Hear, hear. A great truck driver. Remember, if you've got it, a truck brought it. How happy do you feel tonight? How excited? When have you felt this good? When have you felt this strong? When have you felt this great? Tell me. When have you felt this out of control? When? I can't think of it. And I, like many of you, thought, okay, we'll give the president a shot. We'll give him a shot. I'm sure he'll do a good job. But I had no idea. I had no idea. Ricardo, our friend, says, tell Zell oceans don't matter. We have wide open borders. Indeed. Who's going to break it to Victoria Nuland? Who's going to break it to NATO and the EU? This president is so great. Lori says, oh, we deserve this. You know, it's so funny today, Lori. I told you, Mrs. Ellen and I went to the IFC today. It's right there. It's a village, and we went. It's so great to walk in. Where they're in Bleecker and McDougal and all these great places like Cafe Wow and Cafe Reggio's, remember, from Shaft, and all these great places that were part of the beat. And I saw somebody with a mask who came out of one of the theaters, and I wanted to say, that son of a bitch is still wearing a mask. I don't think he has any kind of organ transplant issues, but I thought to myself, these are the people who put us through this. These are the people who put us through this. Larry Summers says Zelensky is going to call Greta. How dare you? Where is she? How dare you? How dare you? What do you think he's doing right now? What do you think? What do you think he's doing right now? What I mean, seriously, what does this guy, everybody, I'm going to try this again. This doesn't happen like this. We don't see these things like this. We don't see this. This is America strong. Thank God for our president. It was beautiful. I'm serious. I watch it. It's like porn. It's like justice porn, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed justice porn. And you won't lose your eyesight, whatever it is. Why, friends, what do I say? Where do I even begin? Where do I begin? Crypto says, it wasn't letting me call them cockroaches in the previous comment. Well, they did now. They did now, big guy. Thank you, CD. Thank you, Larry Summers. Lori Cuck, Ricardo. Edie Crowley, ladies and gentlemen. Warren Ocasio. DLDM, a new member. Thank you. Fuzzy Balls, ladies and gentlemen. Fishman. Love Vanessa. Rafael Legonde. Johnny Maz the Spaz. Oliver Calamari. Warren Ocasio. Mel. He goes by the name Mel. It's just Mel. Mel to you, my friend. Mad Peace. Thank you. A.D. Walker is a new member. JTE. Freedom. And Betsy Spitzak. You've heard of Balzac? Well, this is even worse. Betsy, we thank you for that, dear friends. Oh, my dear. Have a wonderful and a great and a glorious eve. Seriously, have a great and a glorious eve. A wonderful eve. A wonderful time. We will meet again tomorrow. I also ask you, you've been so kind to me and Mrs. L. You've been so kind. I'm doing everything in my power to bring her to what am I trying to say? Bring her to a 10,000, I need 16. Oh my God. If I came in here and said, darling dear, we have hit your 10,000. I need 16 brand new Lynn's Warriors. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? In fact, I'll make it even easier for you. I have this one little, I have this link, and it goes right to hers. She works so hard to spread the holy word of truth, for kids everywhere. I'm going to give it to you right now. Here it is. This is it right now. All you have to do is just click this. It goes right to the subscription. How I would love right now, ladies and gentlemen, as I spent an hour and 12 minutes with you this evening, how I would love to go back and say, we have done it. We have done it. I just need 16. That's all I need. I know. People are always asking you things. They're always asking you for new stuff. Do this, watch this, like me, subscribe. I know. But those are the metrics. Those are the metrics that are responsible. And this is the government that we have asked for. In any event, my friends, thank you. Have a great and a glorious night. Thank you. Hats off to you. Hats off to you for your courage and your intrepidity for putting up with us. We'll speak again, my friends. And until we speak again tomorrow, remember these words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dead.